Peace to the family. Hope everybody is doing well. I am doing good, Just got a chance to get a couple moments to myself. And like yesterday, I want to do a video expressing my notes. Peace, Chris. Look what I got, Chris. Yes. I'm opening that up a little later once I get home. But yeah, this Monday I will be doing a podcast, a YouTube video, overall presentation on shadow work and psilocybin. It's a very important conversation that I want to have with the family, with the collective, so we can begin to grow, right? We hear the term a lot, right? Growth, right? But let's think about growth in the form of maturity, the same way as you have a 9-year-old who grows up to be a 24-year-old, right? That's growth, maturity. There is this movie called A Beautiful Mind, right? I can't remember the actor's name in it, but there's a point in this movie where these thought forms come to him. Long story short, it's a little girl that comes to him. The reason that he knew he was crazy, because it had been years and the little girl never grew up. And so he was seeing a figment of his imagination. He was seeing aspects of himself, but those aspects of ourselves, relating it back to us, if they don't grow or mature, then they become to be what makes us crazy. So, yeah, Russell Crowe. The little girl has to mature within you. The little boy has to mature within you. And I feel that this starts off for most of us when we're children, and we don't get told, or maybe we do get told, but we don't understand or understand learning, where you're not good at stuff initially. You have to learn, develop, practice, and get better at it, right? That is maturity. If you don't understand that, overstand that, let that rest and reside in your DNA when it comes to new opportunities, relationships, jobs, situations, circumstances. The beginning of anything is difficult. Motherhood, fatherhood, being a brother for the first time, learning how to draw, learning how to play basketball, unless you're a prodigy. But as the saying goes, hard work beats talent every single day. So what we need to address is our ability to sit down, listen, and learn and understand brand new information. Relating this to spirituality, your spiritual self has to mature. Meaning that if you come into spirituality and you get readings, that is the part of you spiritually that doesn't want to work hard to get their own downloads. And initially, that's cool. I'll read anybody for a certain elongated period of time. After about a certain period of time, I stop talking to people. Because there's no sense of me reading you every single month when you really need to start to understand your gifts, right? But this is what we call maturity. Spiritual maturity. If you think that somebody has the answers for you, if you really think that somebody has the answers for you, then you'll never seek to grow yourself spiritually. But it's a lot of people who do not mature spiritually. One, because you haven't understood the concept, and two, because it takes a lot of work to begin to want different things for yourself spiritually. Even deeper, you have to get to a real sincere space to want to develop spiritual gifts for the sake of spiritual gifts. So many times we think of our spiritual gifts as ways to help us in the physical life, but sometimes your spiritual gifts aren't related to the physical life. Sometimes your spiritual gifts is related to deep understanding your DNA at its purest level. Do you know what you call that? You call that breaking the generational curse. What am I talking about? Because what tends to be passed down from an epigenetic point of view is negative energies and tendencies and liquor store addictions and, drama and, baby daddies and baby mamas and, toxicity and things of that nature. So the work that a person has to do is bypass all of that, right? Because we initially, we see our moms and dads smoke cigarettes. At osmosis, we start smoking cigarettes. Whatever our moms and dad did negatively, the things that they told us not to do is the things that we want to do, because we're not going to listen to what you say. We're going to watch what you do, and we're going to emulate that. That is called mirror neurons, right? You can tell a person all day, don't jump off the bridge. Don't jump off the bridge. But if you jumping off the bridge, the person is going to think, well, that's a good idea. Let me jump off the bridge. Right? So now that we got that understood, what tends to happen over time is that we are dealing with a level of fear that has been passed down from Black Americans that have grown up in Jim Crow. What is passed down to us is fear of being our best selves, because there was a time in this country that if a Black man was his best self, he would get murdered. So the ones that survived were the ones that kept it low key. Now you come into this energy, Jim Crow still exists in gang culture. Underworld, drug, prostitution, pimps, people who have that DNA to really be them best selves, they do it in criminal underworld professions. You know what ends up happening to them? They end up going to jail. They end up dying, right? Because they get into a rat race. They get into a maze that they don't even know that's there, because they don't understand epigenetics. Because how are you going to know about epigenetics if you're not taught it? So, okay, go ahead. Be the best person that you can be. The cops is going to get you, or these niggas is going to get you. Right? So every Black man has chronic fear when it comes to him being his best self. But when it comes to our families, that's absolutely necessary. So it may be Black women that struggle with this, right? I don't know. I'm not a fucking woman, so I can't really honestly tell you if y'all struggle with this or not. I'm giving you the raw, uncut experience of chronic fear. Fear that has been passed on to you from a previous generation of a demonic entity run wild. There was a time in this country where you could kill a black man and get away with it. There was a time in this country where it was illegal to have dark skin. And so if you come in that gene pool, you'll have that at your DNA. You might not even be cognizant of it. You might be lowering yourself right now as a survival mechanism. In the reality, when you start doing shadow work, you start to having to address these fucking demons. The demons that's within you. The demons that you didn't have nothing to do with, that your ancestors passed through you so they could survive. So just so you could be alive in this day. To do the shadow work, to then remove that energy. But if you don't have the cognizance of it, nobody is telling you this. If you do not understand, and overstand the facts of the matter, then that fear, unseen, hidden, parasitical, vampiric-like, will suck the joy out of every situation. And what is it stopping you from? Being your best self, because your ancestors never could be what you could be in this moment because a motherfucker would take them out. Do you or do you not see pictures of black men and women being lynched? Not even 100 years ago. And you act like you having a chain, a college degree is going to absolve you from racism. Racism is much deeper. It's a spiritual thing. So, don't tell me that spirituality ain't real and then every black community is a liquor store. But what you call liquor, spirits. Do you know that indigenous people naturally tune in and tap in to doing shadow work through psilocybin and psilocybin, but the colonizer came and replaced the psilocybin and gave you mead, gave you alcohol? So where you're trying to get your healing, you're not getting the healing from the earth. You're getting an alcohol infused, and they'll call you an alcoholic. They'll call you a drunk, but all you want is healing. But you just don't understand or understand that drug usage is spiritual. Drug usage is DNA. Drug usage is how you do fucking shadow work. But if you go to the liquor store for your healing, you ain't going to the fucking getting a liquor tonight. You is not drinking liquor tonight so you can feel bad. You drinking liquor tonight so you can feel good. The only thing is you going to wake up with the spoiled guts. You going to look at your wallet. You going to look at your bank account and try to figure out, how the fuck did I spend all of that money last night? There's no fucking way possible. I had a fucking 2-drink limit. The drink was only $5. How the fuck did I spend $3.50? This just don't even make no fucking sense. You're going to wake up Saturday and go through that because you was possessed. You didn't even realize that you're under possession through that alcohol. But you one step closer to spirituality. You just have to replace the alcohol with psilocybin and start doing the shadow work. Start dealing with your fears of being your best self. The reason that you choose drugs, the reason that you choose sex is based upon an entity that was passed down to you. This is why it's so important culturally for us as a people to do shadow work. Individually, fine, whatever. But culturally, We have to get through this negative colonial entity that possesses us. The only thing about it is that we can't see it with our 2 eyes, but we can see it with our 3D eyes. We can feel it. It is a burden that we all carry. And it is fear to be our best selves. We talk about it as if black is a struggle. The black struggle. Within that is a whole coding of DNA epigenetic transfer that we, through shadow work, can shed. We knew entering our spiritual journey that we were here to break generational curses. You didn't know how, but it sounded good when you first came into spirituality. I'm here to break general curses of my ancestors. But it's not found in you being successful. It's not found in you having the money. It's not found in you finding a husband. It's not found in you being the deepest person that's doing readings. It's not found in a new moon video or a full moon video. It's found in you dealing with that deep-seated fear that's within you and facing it and conquering it and showing up as your best self. You can shoot the shot and make it. You can score the winning touchdown. You can throw the winning touchdown. You can be the person that you ultimately are meant to be. But if you do not address the fear that is within the core of your being, then you'll never be it, because something will happen, because it's energetic, it's psychic in nature, it is spiritual in nature, it is the great saboteur. It'll fuck up every relationship. It'll fuck up every opportunity. It'll fuck up everything around you, and you know that it's fucking it up, but you don't have the knowledge, the understanding or overstanding, or even the desire to do shadow work. You want to deal with the external work. You want to have everything looking beautiful on the outside, but inside is fear. And that's the shit that nobody wants to address, because the fear is operating on the same system as a fucking saber-toothed tiger, you know, being dead in your face. In the reality, it is no saber-toothed tiger. That was the reason that the system was implemented. Here we are in 2021, no Jim Crow. No saber-toothed tiger, no big bad white man, no demonic influences, but we have the residue. Thus, we have to remove the residue. Let me give you a science of psilocybin real quick and tell you how it is actually going to assist you in doing the shadow work. You know what fungus does? Fungus decomposes. Fungus takes life and transfers it into different energies. It allows for new energy to show forth. It's a lot of dead ass energy that people hold on to that they need to decompose within themselves. And what you need to decompose is those real ass fears that you hold on to. We want to do protection rituals. You fear-based. Gotta have my protection. No, you gotta remove the fear within you. You know what it's called? It's called being fearless. Meaning that you lessen the fear that's within you. And now you can actually be. You think that you are who you are, but you're not actually who you are if you have the fear existing within you. And the only way you can get rid of it is if you decompose it. If you literally move it away, push it away, snatch it away, pull it out of you. It's as real as anything that you're going to hear. Because, and if I say, well, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? I'm not sure. How you not sure of your direction in life? Because you fear the fact of you making a decision. I want to be the #1 OnlyFans hoe on OnlyFans. I want to sell the most pussy on OnlyFans. You don't want to stand in that truth. Because now you 1,975,000th on the list, and now you feel some type of way. fuck it. Keep trying. Stand in your truth. Don't be motivated by fear. If that's what you want to do, right? Whatever it is that you want to do, it's going to take you removing your fear. It's a real big fear of success that people really deal with when it comes to goal setting. Doing small goals every single day towards a larger goal. The reason that people can't seem to do that is because they fear the actual outcome of accomplishing that actual goal. But then at the same time, they be saying, man, I can't wait to quit this job and start my business. It's going to require you to take the steps right now, today, to start that big goal and dream like that. And how are you going to do that? By removing your fear. How are you going to remove your fear? By actually pinpointing the fear. How do you actually exercise the fear out of you? By sitting down, learning, educating yourself, and not being afraid of the thing that you said you were afraid of. I learned this very young in life. I was afraid of spiders. Definitely afraid of spiders. And my mother couldn't help me, but we were active in the church, and I confided in one of the deacons one Saturday morning. I'm very scared of spiders. And he said, you know what? We're going to take you to the zoo. They got a spider expo. I said, oh, hell no. I thought you was going to pray for me. I thought we was going to read the Bible verses. I thought we was going to exercise. I was a young man at this point. I was 7 or 8 years old, super young. I thought we was going to pray to Jesus, and Jesus was going to remove the spiders out of existence. That's why I was coming to you. He wanted me to go into the fire pit of goddamn spiders. And I said, oh, Lord, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I might, this is when I used to lie to myself. I said, let me bring my inhaler. When you're young and you run out of breath and you don't exercise right, you start calling yourself, saying you got asthma. I ain't have asthma. I was just fat. But anyways, long story short, we go to the zoo. We go through the goddamn spider expo. I learn about spiders. I see how they nest. I learned that every spider ain't out to kill me, but they will kill you. Long story short, the more that I learned about spiders, the less I was afraid of them, and I was 8 years old. Some of y'all is grown as fuck, scared of shit. How do you face your fears? You sit down, you pull up a table, and you learn about it. Some of y'all is afraid of a nigga, scared of a man. How are you going to get over that fear? You're going to have to sit down with a man and talk to a man and build with a man and understand a man. Probably a lot of men with a heart and intent and sincerity. I'm afraid of men, and I need to learn, men, to get over that fear. Do you think that being afraid of men and staying away from men is going to help you get over that? No, it's going to increase your fear of men. Some of y'all are afraid of success. You need to learn about success. Some of y'all are afraid of money. That's a weird fear, but some people, when they get a certain amount of money, they got to spend it immediately because they afraid of it. They think that if they save it or invest it, it's going to bite them when they go to sleep at night, so they spend it on bullshit. They afraid of money. Y'all know anybody like that? Y'all know anybody like that? Afraid of money? Got to get rid of it all the time? Got to spend it on bullshit, frivolous shit? Call the weed man up because I'm afraid of my money. Y'all know anybody like that? See, what fear does is subconsciously, it don't say, hey, I'm fear and I'm ruining your life. What it does, it operates in the background of your life, and it constantly informs of your decision. Will this bring you into your greatest light? No. Let's do it then. Let's hang out with these nothing ass people. That's not going to help us at all. Yes, let's do it. You want to go to the club and get a drink? Yeah, let's do it. Is this going to help us long term? Absolutely not. You think we should do it? Yes, we should. I'm mad at this motherfucker. You think I should tell him a piece of my mind? Is it going to hurt us long term? Yeah, it's going to hurt us like a motherfucker. You think we should do it? Hell yeah, we should do it. Fear is operating at that level at all times, having you constantly want to argue with somebody, constantly want to fight with somebody, constantly ruin good relationships. Fear is say, hey, I'm thinking about this person, I should call them. No, don't call them, because that could mean that y'all would have a positive relationship moment and y'all can have a positive experience together. What if I just ignore them for the rest of the day and act like they don't exist? That's a good idea. That's the shit I've been telling you. Let's start ignoring the fuck out of people. Let's just get into our own bubble, right? And wrap our shit up with saran wrap. Get some order some EMF radiation shit to block out niggas. Let's put them all over the goddamn room. Right? Fear is motivating every decision that you make because you don't address it. Because you don't see it, because you don't pinpoint it, because you don't identify it, and you don't say, get the fuck out of here. That's that shit. So it's easy to say, all right, I'm going to stop smoking them goddamn Newports. I ain't trying to die at 55 like my damn dad from lung cancer and shit. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm not even in that space where I need to drink like that. Fuck it, fuck it. I'm going to stop fucking these motherfuckers off of Tinder. I'm going to give it a break. I'm going to start making wiser decisions based upon the person that I'm trying to be. See, you cannot exist in the space of love if you exist in the space of fear. But for our people, ad infinite, this is why I'm doing this podcast this Monday, is because, and I'm just hoping that it reaches as many people as possible, because it is just a worldwide spell that is put down on our people, and we cannot see it because we can't identify it, because we don't have the terminology to say what is plaguing us is chronic fear, and our chronic fear has been given to us by a false misconception of reality. That's why it's even there. Because if you were to bring it to the forefront and start to explain your fear, it'd be like, oh man, that don't make no sense. I'm a fucking retard for even thinking like that. This is the craziest shit that ever. I'm out here thinking negative for no fucking reason because my goddamn grandma was worried about fucking Billy Bob ass in fucking 1945. But it's fucking 2022. It's not even 1945. But I can't even begin to identify it, because the same time that I start to identify it, then I'm going to have to start looking at the world. Oh, shit. Why do white people live in these nice-ass neighborhoods and all my people living in the fucking slums? Why white people and Chinese people and Mexican people working together and all my people, we at war with each other? What the fuck is happening? That ain't right. Why the fuck is we eating chicken and pork and shit all the time? That ain't right. Why are we up in church and we saying that's God, but y'all know God ain't in no fucking church. So what the fuck is happening? How is millions of us acting like we Christians and religious, and that's not even where God even like. God don't even like that shit. So what the fuck is happening? We under a spell. Oh fuck. And you can't even say, well, they under a spell, I'm good, because you start to do real shadow work, and then you start to see the collective unconscious, and now you're seeing everybody in one big fucking melting pot. We all sitting in the fucking pot, and they slowly cutting up the temperature. Y'all ever heard that analogy of the frog? Just slowly inching it. Sooner or later, we're going to look at each other and then wonder, well, what the fuck was we, what the fuck? because there was this whole psychic thing being played. There was a whole spell going down, and everybody who was spiritual, from the reverends to these conscious niggas, did not have sight of what the actual problem was. It was the blind leading the blind the whole fucking time. It was millions of people not dealing with shadow work, not dealing with your chronic fear. It was the white man. It was fucking the Democrats. It was the Republicans. It was all of this shit. It was never within me dealing with my epigenetic inheritance. It wasn't examining my wounds and becoming the wounded healer. It was everything outside of me that was the problem, that is a problem. And since it is a problem, I just began to project or grab a hold of it and make it my struggle. No. You owe it to your ancestors to be your best self, because within that shadow, within that fear, when you overcome that fear, now you can operate in true love. See, everything is about what you receive. But you can't receive, like the receiver, you might not know, like, oh, I can dial it to this tune. And like, I can dial it to station 33.33. And that's the love frequency, right? And now I'm receiving love energy. You don't know how powerful you are being a melanated goddess, being a melanated god, especially if you holding on to fear without examining it and starting to examine the world around you, examining your place in it. Where's your gifts? Where's your skills? Where's your abilities? What can you learn? What can you bring forward? All of these things is really indicative on how serious you are going to be about your shadow work. But your shadow work is more centered in you examining your fears and becoming your best self. That's the deal. And if you are to become your best self, it's based upon you being able to sit and learn and get better at becoming who you are. That's the deal. It's going to be something that you have within yourself that you need to figure out. But if you don't first know that it's there, and two, deal with your repressed emotions that you have for surely had over these years, and then begin to separate them, now your direction is going to be clearer. Now what you want to receive is not going to be no blocks. I know what it's like, trust me, I know what it's like to want stuff, and I know what it's like to receive stuff. And the true measure of if I wanted it versus if I received it is based upon my level of fear, is my level of resistance to that which I truly want. My level of fear. So you got to be honest about your true level of fear within your being. And the thing of it, you might have to stimulate your mind and your heart and your being, because this is the way that the shadow comes out. If you're like, well, sometimes I do get angry, blah, 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 journal, woo, woo, woo. It don't matter. You got to really think about the time that, or if even not even time, just think about shit. Just think about your fucking husband having a fucking threesome with some fucking strippers, but not even on some cool shit. He lied and said he about to go see his mama and go feed the homeless, but he ain't do that. He went to the fucking strip club and he took the rent money, the whole rent money, and he spent it on strippers. Now you got to journal within your heart and find some aspect of love, right? And you can say, no, fuck that. He ain't about to do that. But the reality is he ain't do it. It's an exercise. That's your shadow coming up. that shadow's like, no, fuck that. I'm about to fucking slash his tires. No, hold that motherfucker right. Hold his ass. Like, hold him. Like, no, motherfucker, don't go nowhere. Where'd that come from? Because I thought I was a sweet bitch. Now I want to slash his tires. Hold on, goddamn Ursula. Where your ass come from? Hold the fuck up. You just gotta, you gotta catch that bitch sometimes. You gotta stimulate your mind into some stuff. Right? So now you could really interface with this shadow and be like, you know what, Ursula? We ain't going to slash his tires. We going to cook him some steak. Right? We going to make love to him when he get home. Right? Ursula like, no, he cheated on us. And you like, no, that was a shadow work exercise, Ursula. We're exercising your ass. And now the more that you begin to conversate with Ursula, you could do this all day. You could start thinking of wild shit, right? You could go on and on and on. He's with a white girl today, Ursula. How did that make you feel? I'ma beat his mama's ass. Like, what, Ursula? No, we're not going to beat that lady's ass. Ursula, girl, what is wrong with you? You always want to fuck motherfuckers up. Right? So, hopefully that helped. Gave you a little insight of what we're going to be talking about this Monday. We'll be discussing psilocybin and shadow work. It'll be an in-depth, well thought out, thought-provoking expose on shadow work, psilocybin, and getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to the God within. We are decomposing the layers of bullshit, the layers of fear, getting to the truth, which is us being courageous, right? Us showing our best self, being our best self, relating to people, building networks. You and Ursula in the same events. Ursula like, shit, I want to go to places too. You always keeping me in the goddamn suitcase whenever Jermaine do some bullshit. And now you want, don't baby D. Don't treat yourself like baby D. Right? So, y'all have a wonderful afternoon. I'm about to get back to work. Just wanted to share with you guys, let you guys know what I've been working on and what's coming up for the channel. So, like I said, this Monday, psilocybin and shadow work, spiritual shit is going down. Peace.